the third day of August 2022, just 5 days to the August polls. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch and Hope TV, where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. We are also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Hope TV Kenya. Let us kick off. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has held a prayer meeting together with National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, and the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, KCCB, themed Grace for Success towards the general election at the Bomas of Kenya, just 5 days to the election day. As Chairman Wafula Chebukati called for support and goodwill from Kenyans, the clergy has asked political contenders to accept election results to avoid cases of post-election violence. Meanwhile, IEBC, in its daily media briefing today, said it has distributed 2,053 pallets of ballot papers to the constituency level ahead of Tuesday's election. Dickens Luvanda now reports.
IBC team, please stand up.
The chairman of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Wafula Chebukati, is the man in the limelight in the next week's election, as he bears the weight of responsibility on the conduct of the poll. Chebukati sought prayers on behalf of the commission after he held a prayer meeting with the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops and the National Council of Churches of Kenya at the National Tallying Center at Bomas of Kenya.
This is a task we chose to do, and we took an oath of office to perform this task, and we swore by the Bible that we shall perform this task and ask God to help us. And that is the assignment we have, and we must deliver on that assignment. And in all we do, then we are guided by the law, the Constitution, and the laws of the land. And behind the scenes for all of us are our families, the ones who suffer silently. You may not know, but our wives, our children, our spouses, they need prayers, because in whatever we do, they also have their friends, and they belong to various groups. They need prayers so that they can stand with us.
KCCB Bishop John Obala has challenged the Commission and the election stakeholders to work closely in an effort to solve election disputes and asked political candidates to accept poll results for a peaceful country.
We are confident, and we are saying this one more time, that the IEBC is up to the task and that we can all work together to give Kenyans peaceful, free, fair and credible elections. It is our fervent prayer and hope that the entire team within the IEBC will remain united, working towards one goal.
As this happened, IEBC commissioners led by Francis Mathengi Wandiri and the Vice Chairperson Juliana Chirira were at the IEBC National Warehouse, where it was revealed that a section of governorship, senatorial, women rep and MCA ballot papers have already been dispatched to some of the constituencies ahead of the official distribution to the polling stations.
So far, we have distributed about 60% of the ballot papers that have been received here. And you are continuing to do this exercise. And our last day to make sure they get to the place is on 6th. By 6th, all the materials will have reached, all the ballot papers will have reached to their destination.
The poll agency was expecting the last batch of the ballot papers to arrive in the country on Wednesday, with all the election materials expected in the country by weekend.
As we are talking today, most of, or 90% of non-strategic materials, that is ballot boxes.
Meanwhile, former Botswana President Festus Mogae has withdrawn from the Commonwealth Observer Mission for Kenya's general elections after he was appointed in July as the leader of the 20-member group. Mogae, who stepped down on Wednesday, has been replaced by former Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding. Deacon Sylvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. To matters education, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has apologized on behalf of the government for the Tuesday's impromptu closure of schools. Speaking after launching the newly built CBC classes at Umoja Secondary School in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, Magoha said the move to close schools was to ensure the electoral body IEBC prepares early for the general election. The short notice on school closure sparked outrage from parents and stakeholders from learning institutions who said that they were not prepared for the sudden closure. On Monday, Magoha ordered all schools to be closed by Tuesday, August 2nd, and that students would report back on 11th of this month after the election. The statement was contrary to his earlier statement that directed schools to close on August 6th to 15th to pave way for the polls.
I know that people are very unhappy that the schools were closed abruptly. Let me apologize on behalf of government. But you see, the Electoral Commission must be given whatever they want, whenever they want, in order to be able to carry out a free, fair, and justifiable election. So the small pain that I have caused you, I take full responsibility because I'm the one who was supposed to say it. I think the swords you have sent on me are now enough. But it's also important that the Electoral Commission gets access to schools, and not to say that we did not give them enough time to prepare for the election. So as I take full responsibility, please try and understand that I love the children, and I would be the last person to put their life or anything at risk.
Moving on, President Uhuru Kenyatta has reiterated the need for Kenyans to move forward together peacefully as the August 9th polls approach. The head of state emphasized that Kenyans should embrace peace at all times, saying they should shun leaders who preach divisive politics and hatred. In this regard, President Kenyatta urged residents of Kisii and Nyamira to elect leaders allied to the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance.
We have 65 specialist doctors in all areas of medical specialization through the guidance that you gave us under the healthcare program. We had only 16 doctors, now we have 175 doctors. We had only about 300 bed capacity in our main hospital here. We put up another one, 350. The other day, Mother Karua came in. We have a mother-child now, an additional 350 beds for mothers and children.
Mimi tu leo mbele ya hao watu, because this is home. Your Excellency, is to say thank you. Asante sana. I may not have been the most deserving. I wasn't in any way special, but you trusted me and gave me a job, and it has been an experience of my life. And on this, I speak on behalf of many of our senior civil servants who have worked for you. I have had a front row seat in your administration and witnessed firsthand, and as I tell our people, even in our meetings, I know and I can speak to it accurately.
Imekuwa furaha yangu kufanya kazi pamoja nanyi. Na tumeweza kuyatimiza yale ambayo tumeweza kuyatimiza. Toka upande ya mabarabara, najua kutoka yale pahali tulianza mpaka pahali sasa tuaishia, tumeweza kuongeza karibu kilomita 200 kilometers ya barabara za lami katika kaunti hizi mbili. Tumeweza kuongeza idadi ya watu wale ambao wameunganishwa na stima.
Now, the International Republican Institute, in partnership with the Nairobi County Committee of Eminent Persons on Peaceful Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms, have presided over the signing of a peace charter for aspirants from different regions within Nairobi County. The forum, whose main objective was to discuss the transformative role of different stakeholders and looking at collaborative approaches towards peaceful alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, so the aspirants pledged their commitment to peace before, during, and beyond the elections. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute have announced the deployment of a joint international election observation mission to the country, with the former president of Mozambique, Joaquim Alberto Chissano, leading the delegation.
With exactly 5 days to the elections, Nairobi County aspirants have today signed a peace charter and pledged their commitment to peace before, during, and beyond the elections.
Despite ile kiti utapata, ile kitu ya muhimu ni kama wewe utaweza kuwa wewe ndio unaleta amani katika ward yako, then hiyo ni title muhimu kuliko hata ya mheshimiwa.
We want to have a peaceful election, and even after election we want to see our community together. I was there in 2008 when Mathare was burning, when we were, when politics divided us. And now I'm in the middle of politics as a candidate, and I don't want to see that happen again.
The forum, which was organized by the International Republican Institute in partnership with the Nairobi County Committee of Eminent Persons on Peaceful Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms, saw stakeholders discuss on the place of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms in Kenya's democratic electoral process.
The nature of our election, whereby people take it as a win and lose, has led to various aspirants or candidates using different mechanisms to win and also to cause violence. Rather than taking it as seeking mandate, being given an opportunity to lead for the next 5 years. If you don't get the mandate, it doesn't mean it's the end. You will get the mandate the next time you seek the mandate again.
The International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute have announced the deployment of a joint international election observation mission to the country, with the former president of Mozambique, Joaquim Alberto Chissano, leading the delegation. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Ken, for that report. Now, a petition has been filed at the High Court seeking to block 13 politicians who include Kenya Kwanza presidential running mate Rigathi Gachagua from contesting next week's polls over integrity issues. A suit by several activists led by Kenneth Njagi Njiru, Meshak Churchill Suba, and Beatrice Kamau want the court to issue order barring Gachagua, UDA's Nairobi gubernatorial candidate Johnson Sakaja, Muhammad Ali Mohammed of Marsabit, Onsimas Muthomi Njuki of Tharaka Nithi, Evans Kidero of Homa Bay, Ali Korane of Garissa, Dado Godana of Tana River, Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga, and Aisha Jumwa of Kilifi from contesting in the election. Others are members of parliament aspirants John Waluke of Sirisia, Samuel Arama of Nakuru Town West, Oscar Sudi of Kapseret, and Okoth Obado of Migori. The petitioners want the court to determine whether Gachagua is fit and suitable to hold any public office in the wake of a recent ruling of the High Court directing him to forfeit 202 million shillings to the government over graft. They further want the IEBC and EACC to file their report on the findings and determine to the court by Thursday. To the court by Thursday. The activists further want the matter referred to the Chief Justice Martha Koome to appoint a 3-judge bench to hear and determine the suit. On that note, let us take our first break on Newswatch tonight. Plenty more after the break.
Treasure Hunt.
Treasure Hunt on Hope TV.
We bring you great content for boys and girls in this new season of Treasure Hunt.
Kisha tashimba shambani, kisa cha simba shambani.
Treasure Hunt, Saturdays at 9 a.m. only on Hope TV.
Coming up this September, CITAM Springboard Convention 2022 with fresh anointing to radiate God's glory as we reach out to the lost. Mark and save these dates from the 20th to the 24th September 2022 at CITAM Valley Road. The convention is themed Till the Whole World Hears and will definitely revive and uplift your faith. The Bible tells us in Matthew chapter 24 verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached to the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Get ready for the Springboard Convention 2022. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back. The Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, has launched an election observation center and an online portal during this electioneering period as it continues to champion for the rights of women and girls and ensuring they enjoy a free and fair election. In order to prevent sexual and gender-based violence during the election season, the Federation has also deployed over 100 elections SGBV monitors across the country. Speaking during a media briefing, FIDA chairperson Nancy Ikinu called on politicians to adhere to electoral code of conduct and ensure peace prevails in the country.
As FIDA Kenya, we launched a Vote a Dada campaign in 2021, which has provided a platform to advance the gender agenda. As a result, we trained over 350 female aspirants, including the youth and women living with disabilities, on the various forms of electoral cycle to ensure that they have the requisite capacity to advance greater participation in elective politics. Today, we are launching the physical and online observation center, which will provide psychosocial support, legal support, and other forms of support across the country. In addition to this, our toll-free line 0800-720 will be ready to take all calls. Number two, we have deployed the 100 monitors that I mentioned across the 47 counties who will report, map, and document incidents of SGBV perpetrated against our women aspirants, voters, and supporters. FIDA Kenya will be monitoring and issuing periodic statements on the issues that will be reported from the ground as part of the early warning and responses during these elections. Our trained pro bono lawyers and counselors will also be on standby to offer support. We are hoping, as an institution, that the elections will be peaceful and are set to undertake our collective mandate for the nation and people of Kenya.
Public Service Cabinet Secretary Professor Margaret Kobia says the government is scaling up intervention measures to mitigate drought situation in the country. Addressing the press after a consultative meeting between the government and development partners on drought situation, Kobia said 3 counties are currently in emergencies, 8 in crisis, 12 are already stressed, and 24 counties are yet to be assessed. She has underscored the need for enhanced coordination and the scaling up of more measures to address the needs of 4.1 million people in 23 arid and semi-arid counties facing acute food insecurity.
We're going to be able, with the help of the partners, to reach more than 500,000 people, nearly 100,000 families, as you said, Waziri, with cash assistance over the next 6 months. And this is fantastic, but it isn't enough. The crisis is outpacing us. If we lose the rains in October, that will already be a worse drought than anybody can remember in their lifetime. If we were to lose the rains next March, we would be in a cataclysm. So the time is now for us to step up our actions still further.
The weather outlook indicates that there will be generally depressed rainfall across all the arid and semi-arid counties during October to December 2022 rainfall season due to La Nina, hence the prospect of the fifth failed rain season. Consequently, the number of people in need of relief assistance could easily rise from 4.1 projected to 4.35 projected by December 2022. Our meeting today has underscored the urgent need to enhance coordination and the scaling up of more measures to address the need of the 4.1 million people in 23 arid and semi-arid counties who are facing acute food insecurity. I want to thank the stakeholders, including the development partners, for the continued support to mitigate the impact of droughts as the government strives to strengthen the partnership and mobilize resources and the coordination of the national and at county levels. 89,000 families across 12 counties that are facing acute food insecurity. The targeted counties are Turkana, Samburu, Isiolo, Garissa, Tana River, Baringo, Mandera, Wajir, Kitui, Kilifi, Kwale, and Marsabit. The food assistance will be provided for the 6 months through the cash transfer and in kind, with the beneficiaries' families set to receive 6,500 Kenya shillings per month.
Siaya Senator James Orengo Ogunja, Member of Parliament Opiyo Wandayi, and his GEM counterpart Elisha Odhiambo have called on security agencies to summon and interrogate Deputy President William Ruto over the leaflets that are allegedly threatening certain communities in Uasin Gishu County. The trio said the Deputy President and his allies' recent remarks had the potential to cause panic and animosity amongst the people living in the cosmopolitan county. The reported emergence of leaflets threatening some communities in Rift Valley has seen the security agencies arrest 8 suspects, with the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Dr. Matiang'i, assuring Kenyans that all those involved will be brought to book.
Kenya, we don't want a government for thieves by thieves for thieves. Hawezekani. Na tunasema kwamba Ruto amekataa kumheshimu rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya ambaye ni kiongozi wake. Kama angekuwa mwanaume kweli, kama Raila alifanya, kama Jaramogi alifanya, angejiuzulu kusema mimi kama Ruto sisikizani na rais wa Republic of Kenya, mimi naenda zangu.
The issue of security, particularly in the North Rift region, given the history of that area, is so serious to be trivialized. We have heard William Ruto claim very sensationally that the leaflets that are circulating in parts of the Rift Valley threatening certain communities to either vote for him as the president or leave those areas. Ruto's claim that those leaflets are being circulated by the NIS, the National Intelligence Service, is not only unfortunate, but extremely dangerous. The National Intelligence Service of the Republic of Kenya has distinguished itself as a very professional organization. In fact, it's the pride of this country, not only in the region, but globally. And therefore, for Ruto to drag the name of the NIS and its leadership into his politics is not acceptable.
Dr. Christopher Munyo Karemba, aged 33, was among 4 students awarded a doctorate degree in applied mathematics at Zhenghu University in China this year. Though his class initially had 30 students, only 4 of them managed to graduate, with Karemba being the only African. Despite having passed through many ups and downs in his education journey, the young doctor said he has been focused to achieve his dreams of becoming a scholar. Here is his story. After graduating at Kenyatta University in the year 2010, Karemba joined teaching from the year 2011 to 2012 before quitting to look for greener pastures. In the year 2013, he was employed by the Ministry of Devolution as a field operation assistant, a 3-year contract that saw him posted to Mandera County. While in Mandera, Karemba recalls how he narrowly escaped death after the bus they were traveling in was bombed and about 28 persons died on the spot.
That I can't remember the date quite exactly, but we had 2 buses, the first bus and the second bus. So on this specific day, I was on the second bus that was to trail the first bus, and the first bus that went, we had an incident whereby innocent people were killed. I can't remember the number, but maybe 28 people lost their lives during that time. And so I look at this incident and maybe there's something that was not yet fulfilled in my life, and I had another chance of living again during that time.
While working in Mandera, Karemba applied to do his master's degree at Kenyatta University, where he graduated in the year 2015 with Masters of Science Applied Mathematics. Later in the year, he was awarded a full-time scholarship in China through the Ministry of Education to study Doctorate of Science in Applied Mathematics. He confesses that his worst time in China was when the COVID-19 pandemic struck and was first reported in China while he was in second year.
Our movement was restricted. We could not move outside of our cities at times, or at times we could not move outside of our provinces. But all these, we are able to overcome them.
Christopher's father, Mzee Peter Karemba, further reiterated that his son is a focused man who shines in every institution he enrolls to study.
In all schools he has been offered some kind of mathematical management. Let me say management as an accountant. Managerial positions in schools and even in colleges. And one thing I liked as a father, when I was getting this information directly from the stakeholders of those who are teaching him, I got very impressed because he was doing very well.
The father said despite his son having been asked to remain in China to assist in the teaching job, he refused and traveled back to Kenya so that he could give back to his country.
He got that scholarship and he used it maximally. Even in China, they wanted him to remain to teach. But because of homesick and other things, he decided to come home and see whether he can get somewhere he can work for this government.
On the competency-based curriculum CBC, the scholar lauded the government for introducing the new curriculum, saying it exposes the young learners to job markets.
We need to get these hands-on skills. These hands-on skills are really the most important skills that are needed in the job market, because we have one side of learning and we also have the other side of implementation. So if we only learn and we don't implement whatever we are learning in class or whatever we are learning in school, we only tend to have so much knowledge that we don't put into use.
Dr. Mary Shinali, a lecturer at Masai Mara University, lauded the CBC program, saying it brings more benefits to the young learners than the 844 system.
If you look at the CBC, it is a hands-on program whereby the children learn by doing.
Actually, the work of the teacher is to facilitate. You guide the students in how they do according to their areas of interest. So I would urge really the government to support all the stakeholders, especially the teachers and the parents, so that they can embrace the system.
Encouraging indeed. Now, the Laikipia's Nyahururu County Hospital mortuary is on the spot after a family who had come to pick the body of their kin found it missing. The family from Gaidethia village in Leshao Pondo Ward, Nyandarua County, arrived at the morgue early to pick the body of 72-year-old Rafael Kimani Desajo, but were given the wrong body, which they declined. The incident saw members of several families who had removed bodies of their kin from the morgue in the last 1 week summoned to the Nyahururu DCI office in an effort to find out if the missing body could have been buried by one of the families by mistake.
Si tulikuwa tumekuja hapa siku ya leo, ndio ilikuwa siku ya mazishi ya baba yangu, tukuja twende tukamzike. But watu wenye waliingia kwenda kuidentify mwili ndio waligundua huyo sio baba yangu. Mpaka saa hii hatujajua mahali babangu yuko. So tunaomba haki itendeke ndio tupe mwili ya baba yangu twende tukamzike. Babangu alikuwa na ugonjwa kidogo, akakuwa admitted North Kinangop on Tuesday last week but one, akaenda akafanywa operation na ikakuwa successful, akakaa for some days. On Monday 25th wakampea ruhusa, akakuwa discharged. On his way home akienda nyumbani akaanza kusikia vibaya, akarudishwa back to North Kinangop Hospital, mahali alipasa akipatiwa first aid.
We need to bury our uncle, we love him, and we need to pay him the right respect, ile the decent burial that he needs and deserves. Sasa pale police station wakati tumeenda, imesemekana kijana andikiwe barua, that is kijana yake the first born, waende to the Naivasha, kuna mwili inazikwa huko. Lakini ile tunauliza, nafikiria polisi wangepeana escort hapa, waende na the family members or the to Naivasha, waende waangalie the mwili. Lakini imesemekana ati wapatiwe barua, waende Naivasha wafike huko, alafu wapeleke the nearest police station, ili wapelekwe, waende wakaone mwili.
Moving on, former Kamukunji Member of Parliament and Embu senatorial aspirant Norman Nyaga has vowed to sponsor a law in the Senate to bar governors who have served their terms from vying for Senate seat if elected in the upcoming election. The former lawmaker said this referring to Embu County Governor Martin Wambora, who has been in office for 10 years but is currently vying for Embu County senatorial seat. Nyaga was speaking during a meeting with supporters of Azimio la Umoja who have thrown their weight behind his candidature, saying he was best placed to be the next senator owing to his vast experience in leadership.
At the earliest opportunity is to bring up a law that anybody who has played the role of a governor should never ever step down for a seat of a senator, because you are basically going to hide the ills that you have created. And there is no other reason. And in fact, I have said, it is not Nyaga Wambora who came up with this idea. It must be the de facto governor who stays with him in the same house.
Tumekutana watu kutoka Manyata na Runyenjes, na sisi kama Daihands, we have endorsed Norman Nyaga to be our senatorial senator in Embu County, na tumeshikana mkono pamoja, na tumeshukuru sababu tumeko pamoja, na tutafanya kazi na Norman Nyaga kumsaidia katika kampeni zake ili tuone ameingia katika kiti ya senator Embu. Na timu yangu kutoka Embu County tumefurahia kuwa na yeye na tunamuunga mkono mpaka aingie.
Tumekuja kutangazia at least watu wa Embu County, yule kiongozi ambaye ako na maadili mema ya kutuongoza, ambaye ako na ujasiri, ambaye ako na maono, ambaye ataweza kukondoa macho, si mwingine ila ni Norman Nyaga. Na kwa sababu ya kumuunga mkono, ni kwa sababu ni mtu amekaa mbunge kwa miaka mingi na muda mrefu, mtu ambaye ako na experience ya kutosha, ataweza kuangalia pesa zetu zile tunapewa ama rasilimali zetu zenye zinapewa county, na ni mtu ambaye hataweza kushirikiana na gavana kama wale wengine wako, ili kama hospitali zetu ziwache kupata shida, hospitali zetu zipate madawa, ili kama kuna shinda awe mtu wa kwanza at least kufuata gavana kumuuliza kwa nini kuna shinda.
Now, Coast Region Police Commander Titus Karuri has called on the security agencies to stay vigilant during the August 9th polls. Speaking during a multi-sectoral election security committee meeting at provincial headquarters, the police regional boss said the security agents will be extra vigilant during and after elections to curb any threats of political violence. He has cautioned politicians against sparking conflicts by inciting the electorate, saying they will be dealt with ruthlessly, irrespective of their political status. Mvita Deputy County Commissioner Ronald Muiwawi, who co-chaired the meeting, assured Mombasa County residents of a conducive environment, saying the security apparatus will be on high alert to thwart any cropping insecurity incidents.
Tumejiandaa vilivyo, mashirika yote yamejiandaa vilivyo. Tumekuwa na mabaraza na mikutano ya hadhara kadha wa kadha. Wananchi wetu wameelimishwa vya kutosha jinsi ya kuweka amani, jinsi ya kupeana ripoti kwa vitengo vya kiusalama iwapo kutatokea jambo. Na pia kama serikali tumejiandaa vilivyo, vikosi vyetu vya kiusalama viko tayari, kila kituo kitalindwa vile inavyopasa, na tunahimiza watu wote wa jimbo hili ama eneo hili la Pwani kusikwe na wasiwasi wote, kusikwe na taharuki yoyote. Mtu asisafiri kwenda bara kwa sababu ya kwamba anahofia usalama wake.
Our officers have been sensitized to do what they are supposed to do, and everybody has taken his position so that by Tuesday it will just be a normal day like any other. So there is nothing to worry about, as the DCC has said. We will be there together and we will make sure that this exercise ends peacefully.
Pia tuko na hotline tulipatia wananchi na officers wa polisi wapige toll free number. Tuko na toll free number 1559 kwamba unaweza piga bila kutumia pesa yako kutujulisha kama kuna shida yote na watu wa usalama, na pia officers wenyewe vile tunaangalia maslahi yao tunawapatia hiyo namba pia kama wamedhulumiwa wenyewe.
Let's cross our borders. Hundreds of Ethiopian migrants who have been convicted of various crimes in Saudi Arabia have said they are not able to return home despite finishing their sentences. Faith Selfa brings us this story and more, and a roundup of international news.
Hundreds of Ethiopian migrants who have been convicted of various crimes in Saudi Arabia have said they are not able to return home despite finishing their sentences. The migrants, numbering more than 700, have spent between 5 and 15 years in prison after they were convicted of crimes including possession of illicit substances. The migrants claimed that they were transferred from prison to a squalid detention center instead of being set free. They are now accusing the Ethiopian government of being unwilling to facilitate their freedom and repatriation. The United Kingdom government says the people of South Sudan are frustrated with the slow implementation of the country's peace agreement and the lack of political will from leaders. President Salva Kiir and his former arch-rival, Riek Machar, now first vice president who formed a unity government 2 years ago, are yet to create a unified national army of up to 83,000 soldiers, which was a key pillar of the revitalized peace deal signed in 2018 to end 5 years of the conflict. The transitional period of the agreement expires in February next year and is expected to culminate with a general election. Detectives drawn from the Serious Crimes Unit have arrested Abdi Hussein Ahmed, alias Abu Kadi, a suspect wanted in the United States for wildlife and drug trafficking in Meru County, Kenya, following a tip-off from the public. Ahmed was charged in 2019 in a court in the Southern District of New York with conspiracy to traffic rhino horns and elephant species worth $7 million and intent to traffic a kilogram of cocaine. The arrest comes after U.S. Embassy official Eric Needler and the Director Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI Director George Kinoti made a public plea on 26th May for information that could lead to his arrest. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed the importance of the fast grain export shipment from his country since Russia invaded, saying it was carrying a fraction of the crop Kyiv must sell to help salvage its shattered economy. His comments via video to students in Australia came as an inspection of the ship Razoni, which departed from Ukraine's Odessa port on the Black Sea early on Monday, carrying over 26,000 tons of corn to Tripoli, was completed in Turkey before it continues to its final destination in Lebanon, and a deal aimed at easing a global food crisis. For Hope TV's Newswatch, I am Faith Salfa.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and Star Times Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live. On Hope Junction, every Saturday, get to enjoy songs that cater to the young and young at heart. Let the beat keep your head nodding.
Right now, what you love is amazing. We just
That's every Saturday on Hope Junction. From 10 a.m.
I just wanna help you loving it. Wanna make you smile. Change the way you live.
Welcome back. We now take a look at business news. The Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife has launched a one-month-long photo exhibition at the National Museum of Kenya aimed at raising awareness of Mount Kenya as a prime adventure tourism destination. The exhibition, dubbed Mount Kenya Photography Exhibition, will allow the public to interact and purchase amazing pictures of the incongruous Mount Kenya topography, as well as highlight adventures scaling the mountain's rough terrain. Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife Najib Balala said there is a big potential for more visitors to tour iconic Mount Kenya, informing the need to continue harnessing resources to improve the visitor experience and appeal to more adventure seekers and mountain climbers.
This is a new dawn for the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, efforts in giving greater impetus to our country's marketing strategies to position Kenya as a niche tourism destination, both regionally and internationally. Over the years, Kenya has been known for wildlife safari tourism, and we thank God for bestowing upon us attractive natural heritage that is the envy of the rest of the world. That said, there is cutthroat competition at the moment from other countries that boast of abundance of wildlife species. This therefore challenges us to think outside the box with a view of diversifying our tourism products. It's in line with this reality that my ministry, the Kenya Wildlife Service, and the Kenya Tourism Board mooted an adventure and mountain climbing as potential spheres to boost tourist numbers, cognizant of the demographic dynamics of modern tourists. In a nutshell, the potential that Mount Kenya has in position Kenya as an adventure destination is yet to be fully maximized.
With Visa and also the team that went to Mount Kenya, we partnered to make sure that we can really revamp the experience of climbers. So together, let's make a difference and let's follow the path that has been set by the team that went up there. So you can contribute in many ways. So really delighted today and to represent the CS and happy to be here and happy for Safaricom and M-Pesa to be represented in this noble cause and will continue to be involved in many, in very different ways, and welcome everyone for your involvement.
And Nzoia Sugar Factory is set to resume production this coming Sunday following President Uhuru Kenyatta's announcement of a 500 million shillings bailout to offset arrears owed to farmers and workers. The president, who made the announcement on Tuesday when he visited the factory located in Bungoma County, directed Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya to ensure 450 million Kenya shillings owed to farmers is credited to their bank accounts, while 50 million shillings is paid to the factory workers by Friday this week. President Kenyatta emphasized that his administration has been working to empower sugarcane farmers, but some leaders charged with that responsibility sabotaged the government's efforts by crippling the operations of the sugar sector. Now to sports. KCB FC has completed the signing of full-back Haron Mwale and goalkeeper Brian Omondi from Ulinzi Stars and Posta Rangers, respectively. The two, in addition to Francis Cairo and Danson Chetambe, who joined the club late last month. Goalkeeper Brian Omondi expressed his excitement to join KCB FC and exuded confidence that together with the rest of the players, they will take the club to the next level. Under the tutelage of coach Zedekiah Zico Otieno, the Bankers finished 7th during the 2021-2022 season after bagging 49 points. Zico admits he is still in the process of beefing up his squad with an eye to clinching its maiden KPL title.
Na feel poa, nimefeel poa kujoin club. Ni club poa, ni top club. So niko hapa kwa card at least to achieve kitu. Na feel addition yangu itasaidia kunini team because kwa goalkeeping kuna competition, kutakuwa na competition poa na tutajaribu kusukumana si wote at least to achieve kitu. Ningependa kuwin ligi na ningependa at least kwa game at least nipate more playing time na some clean sheet itakuwa best.
Obviously tuna expect nini competition itakuwa high since ni masreka wamekuwa kicheza, ni masreka wamekuwa matop scorer pia kwa ligi, but kitu na hope na believe tutapigania tu namba na hapo mbele itakuwa fine. For me last season nimekuwa top scorer pia kwa ligi kwa timu yangu yenye nimekuwa nikicheza, so na hope pia hii team nimejoin na nakupigania na naweza kuwa hapo juu zaidi.
Management, wachezaji wako pamoja. Hiyo ndio kitu poa kwanza kwa team. I feel hiyo ndio inaweza fanya watu achieve motive yao.
And Premier League players will stop the pre-match anti-racism gesture of taking the knee before every match. Top flight clubs started taking a knee to support the Black Lives Matter movement, which rose to prominence following the death of George Floyd in the United States in May 2020. Premier League captains took the decision after consulting with players, and the gesture will instead be seen before certain rounds of games, including the Boxing Day fixtures and cup finals. Players and staff will also take the knee before the first and last matches of the 2022-2023 campaign, as well as dedicated no room for racism match rounds. I beg your pardon, dedicated no room for racism match rounds in October and March. Well, that story wraps up Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Muredi. God willing, see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of your viewing.